We are excited to have you this morning for ReferralTopia. My name is Steve Ziskowski, and I'm the founder and a facilitator for CirrusNet Referral Teams. That's a business that I started in 2008. So lucky for me, for the last 17 years, I've been a professional networker for a living, standing alongside small business people who are fighting that good fight to make a difference in the world and to try to help them gain exposure, connections, and relationships that ultimately lead to referrals and new business and people that are thinking of you. I started ReferralTopia. This is my seventh ReferralTopia session, seventh time doing this, and absolutely love the greatness that comes from this event. This event brings together a lot of CirrusNet members, which are members that are part of referral teams, but it also brings in a lot of folks that love networking and wanted to be part of a great event. So thank you to all of you for being here with us today. And we're going to have a fantastic experience. So there are some things that I want to share with you really quickly before we get started in today's event. This is a marathon. This is a 2.5 hour long event, but good news for you and for me. I get told all the time, year after year, that 2.5 hours feels like 30 minutes. Like it goes by really, really fast because we've got a lot of moving parts. So I wanted to say thank you to all of you for being here at ReferralTopia. We are networking with a purpose today. We're networking and we're doing good. We're learning new topics for ourselves, for our own personal and professional development, but we're also doing good. We're here supporting Fund a Life today. This is the landing page that you all accessed today to start your ReferralTopia adventure. And you'll continue to go back to this landing page because each part of the event today is a new Zoom session. So we'll end a session when this talk is over. And then when Jen is done presenting, you'll go ahead and go back to the landing page and you'll click on live networking session number 1, which starts right at 8:30. I'll be facilitating that, and we do have a lot of fun doing those. So be sure you're a part of the networking sessions. And again, you just go back to the landing page to easily navigate today's event. Also wanted to mention referrals are where it's at. My life has been blessed by referrals, and all of the speakers that are speaking today, Jennifer McClure, Lisa Mininni, and Mauri Rene, were all referred to me. And that's how my business works. And you get great results when you deal with folks that are introducing folks to you that they really believe are going to be great fits. So I'm really excited about the speakers that we have here today. And again, also wanted to mention that later on today, there is going to be a ReferralTopia Afterglow. That's hosted by last year's CirrusNet MVP facilitator, Doug Moffett. Maybe, Doug, you could throw your hand up in the air over there real quick. But Doug is going to be hosting an Afterglow today over at Brewery Becker in Brighton from 4 to 6 p.m. So if you'd like to meet Lisa Mininni, you'd like to meet Jen McClure and many others that are a part of today's event, a lot of them will be hopping off the Zoom screen and will be at the Afterglow. With that being said, I would like to go ahead and just turn over really quickly to Mark Howell. Mark Howell is the founder of Fund a Life, and he's also our nonprofit beneficiary today. And Mark, before I go ahead and introduce Jen McClure, perhaps you could do me a favor and give us the overview, the Fund a Life.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Mark Howell here with Fund a Life. Thanks for joining us today. Fund a Life is a Michigan-based nonprofit that I founded in 2017 after a 4.5 year battle battling stage 4 cancer, and the community raised tons of money for my cause, tons of money that literally funded and saved my life. And out of that journey spawned the idea and spark to start Fund a Life. So now we raise money to give it away to ignite hope in people's lives. We help people facing all kinds of life's darkest moments, crisis situations, and we provide direct grants right into their life to remove some of those financial obstacles that get in the way in times of crisis, make life a little bit lighter, and allow them to focus on the things that matter most. So by you being here today, you're supporting Fund a Life, you're supporting our mission. If we've never met, I'd love to do a one-to-one sometime soon, and just soak in ReferralTopia, and I'll be at the Afterglow as well. Look forward to meeting a lot of you today.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. So just a quick thing. To this first session, we're totally immersed into a speaker presentation. When we go to the networking session, which is right after this presentation, that's when we're going to be sharing our personal details and putting everything into the chat and making connections. So it's okay if you've done it. Nobody did anything wrong. But for the networking session, that's where we're going to be loading up the chat with everybody's contact information. The other thing that I'll also mention too is the speakers really do thrive on your energy and seeing your facial reactions. Yes, we're on Zoom, but guess what? You can already feel the great energy of the people that are here and that are a part of this ReferralTopia event. Again, everybody that's here is somebody that really does believe in networking. They're passionate about relationships. If you're looking for somewhere to network, you found a very friendly place in ReferralTopia. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first speaker. I'd like to welcome today to ReferralTopia, Jen McClure. Jen, the beautiful Jen McClure, is a Mary Kay director. I'm a Mary Kay man. That's why I look so young. She gives me all of my skin lotion and everything. But Jen is somebody that I've gotten to know very, very well over the last 5 years. I really noticed right away the difference between her and other Mary Kay people that I met. She really has incredible leadership skills, which is why she's been so successful. She really thrives in that department, the leadership department. And she's also become a published author. She wrote a book called From the Wilderness. Help me out, Jen. Say it for me. Lessons from the Wilderness, Wisdom from the Wilderness. There we go. And Wisdom from the Wilderness, I read that book and it was just so eye-opening, revealing, and inspiring. She really made herself vulnerable. Let's put our hands together, everybody, and welcome today, Jen McClure.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. And I'm going to apologize up front because I did not put my birds in the other room. And they always feel like they need to participate. If you've been on my referral teams, you're like, wah, wah, wah. You know, it's a group effort. So great. So anyhow, thank you, Steve, for that amazing intro. I treasure you, my friend, and I'm so honored that you esteemed me highly enough that I could bring some value to folks today. So thank you so much for your vote of confidence on that. So you all know what skincare is, right? Give me a shake your head. We all know what lip gloss is. We all know what mascara is. Great. If you need any of that, hit me up, but that's not what I'm talking about today. You're welcome. That was my Mary Kay spiel. Hope you liked it. So I am speaking about my new venture, which is called Chapter 2 Wisdom. And what I hope to do in the next couple minutes is give you some a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of insight into my journey. But more than that, I'm going to give you some meat and potatoes tools. Specifically, I am someone thriving on the other side of a 4-year season of depression that was almost my final chapter. But thank God it wasn't. And I feel compelled to help people to not lose big chunks of their life like that. I figure if I can coach someone and give them tools and give them a safe place to process their trauma, you know, I'm impacting a grandchild who may not even be born yet because grandma or grandpa was able to be the best version of themselves and be present in that life. I just am so thankful for the opportunity. So I'm going to start out with here's my phone number, 517-861-1601. I put it in the chat as well, but I do have some special exclusive offers for you guys, which I'll tell you about at the end, but I want you to have my phone number written down in your phone, something like that. And if you will, not right now, because I'll get distracted, but text me your name and email. That unlocks my special offers for you. Tell you more about that later. But I'm going to open up with a story. You ready? So raise your hand if y'all like date nights. We like going out to eat. Okay, good. Date night people here in the house. Raise 2 hands if you like date night and it's free because somebody gave you a gift card. Amen. So that is the beginning of my story for you. So last Christmas we got a gift card for Outback Steakhouse, and like, dude, there's nothing that's not fabulous at Outback Steakhouse, you know. But honestly, And I hope my health coach, Kim Lenga, is not on here because I'm going to talk about the bloomin' onion. And I know that's not good. I know, but it tasted darn good. It's a thing. So we're so excited. We're going on our free date night with our gift card from Outback Steakhouse. And we're like, and OnStar takes us into the complex. And we're sitting there and we order and we got our little sippy water and our little onion. And I look at Dave and I'm like, oh, date night is amazing. Gift cards are amazing. But how weird it is that they don't call it a bloomin' onion anymore. It was called like a cactus something. I don't know. And Dave looks at me dead in the eye and goes, oh yeah, that's at Outback Steakhouse, which is where the gift card is for. No, we pulled into Texas Roadhouse and there was nothing free about date night. Woo! It's funny now. It was not funny when we got the bill for $75. I'm like, that was something. Anywho, my point is sometimes in life, you end up somewhere that you didn't expect. And that's what happened to me when I had my breakdown in 2014. I want to share a little bit about that, and I'm going to try to hold it together. But just so you understand the power of restoration, all of this was gone. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that experience from chapter 3 of Steve, You Nailed It, Wisdom from the Wilderness. Woo, hang with me. It's me heavy for a minute. I don't know the actual physiology of a nervous breakdown, but I can tell you how it felt to me. I just broke. I didn't cry or scream. I didn't do anything. It seems counterintuitive that nothing can be a feeling, but that's the only way I can explain it. I sank into the abyss of nothing and disappeared. I felt disconnected from my own body and my skin felt weird and clammy. It was though my nerves had snapped and they were short-circuiting and my body was tingly. My breathing became shallow, my chest was tight, and I shook most of the time. It felt like drowning. When I looked all around me, it was as if I was seeing people on the other side of my watery casket. And everything was moving in slow motion. I could see them, but somehow I was completely separated from them. All the while, I was aware that they were not sensing the same disconnection, so I had to try and pretend to be functioning. Present, but not present. Conversation was exhausting. It took every ounce of my strength and concentration to focus on what others were saying. I couldn't remember the names of people that I'd known for decades. I could barely put two sentences together, and I couldn't recall what people just said to me. Pretty quickly, it simply became easier to not look around at all. I didn't make a deliberate decision to stop trying. I was truly incapable. I couldn't make the simplest decisions. I had been a successful business owner, performer, and teacher for years, and now I was having panic attacks at the thought of going to the store or answering the phone. I started wearing sweatshirts so I could pull up my hood and hide. My eyes, I closed my eyes and gave up, sinking under the waves. Who I used to be was snuffed out, and my eyes went vacant and dim. My body was still here, but my soul was gone. And you guys, that's where I was, but that's not who I am today. I consider myself completely healed, and I'm coaching others to experience the same kind of transformation that I have experienced, because you all deserve to be mentally healthy. Do me a favor, close your eyes for a minute. Woo, jeez. Why do I not have Kleenex? I just need it always. Close your eyes for a minute, and unless you're driving, I want you to raise your hand. And I'm going to read through some statements. And when I read something that applies to you, raise your hand, leave it up until the end. Eyes closed. This is a judgment-free zone. Tell me if one or more of these statements applies to you. Number 1, I sometimes feel overwhelmed. Number 2, I sometimes, and hands up when you hear the thing and then leave it up. Number 2, I sometimes feel like I'm not good enough. Number 3, I have people in my life who are abusive, not supportive, and do not see my greatness. Number 4, I worry about my relationships, my kids, my parents, or my finances. Number 5, I have experienced a health crisis or a faith crisis. Number 6, I struggle with grieving the loss of a loved one. Number 7, I struggle with my weight or my self-image. Number 8, I carry around trauma from childhood. Number 9, there are not enough hours in the day to get everything done. And 10, I'm in a life transition and I just feel alone. Now go ahead and open your eyes. I want you to look around the room. And my point, friends, is that we all have stuff. You can go ahead and take it down. And thank you for being brave to share. Everybody has a story. But the good news is that what happened to you does not define you. And you can you can frame it to be a part of your power story moving forward. Who you were does not dictate who you're becoming. You get a choice in that messy middle, right? Remind me to tell you about my course that I'm writing. It's called Transformation in Your Transitions, because as I thought about my journey and how I got somewhere I never intended, it was those pivotal moments where I didn't have tools and support and self-awareness and strength to make the best choice for me. And I mean, you just saw it. We all have some life going on. I promised I would give you a little meat and potatoes, and I want to share with you that I'm currently coaching with a neuropsychologist, Dr. Shannon Irvin, and I am learning the neuroscience of how to help people rewire their brains. Because y'all, I had, I had every benefit. Oh my gosh, I came from a healthy home, church every Sunday. I had good grades in school, checked all the boxes. And yet, in recent years, despite my best efforts and work ethic, having my heart in the right place and all the things, I felt like the brakes were on my life and I didn't understand it. Now that I've been studying with Dr. Shannon, I understand that as entrepreneurs, we are foot on the gas. Yeah, baby. we are doing the thing. But at the same time, sometimes there are these stories in our head that are like the other foot on the gas. No, on the brake. And if you're doing gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, brake, what happens? No progress. And that foot on the brake is your subconscious and the stories that are stuck in that subconscious, emotionally, but also truly neurochemically. And that's what I'm learning to unlock. It's so fun. I want to give you just one of, do I have time? What's my time like? Okay, I'm good. I had 1 to 3 tools I was going to share with you rather. But I do want to allow time for questions. So I'll probably just stick to the first one. If you decide to coach with me, you're also going to learn 7 layers of why and DIA. So just a little teaser for you there. But the concept that I want to teach you regarding neuropsychology is called, in Dr. Shannon's world, we call it STEBDAR. STEBDAR. S stands for situation. We all have situations. Your friend didn't text you back as fast as you thought they should. Your husband spent way too much money at the auto parts store. We have situations, like life happens. Guys, situations are neutral. What determines how they become part of our story is the significance that we give to those situations. So S is for situations. T stands for thoughts. So something happened. What are my thoughts about what happened? Because y'all, we all basically in the room raised our hands and said, I have some stuff in my past. And do you know that situations in the present can trigger and have baggage attached to them that are not appropriate for the current situation? But they're stuck. They're patterns of thinking that are stuck from the past. So S, the situation, T is thought. Next step is E, emotions. So based on the thoughts that I'm having, I have an emotional response to that. So situation that was neutral attaches, then inspires thoughts and emotions about the story that I'm making up about the situation, which may or may not be true, right? Thoughts and emotions, when those guys get married, they become B, a belief, a held belief. So, so for example, from my own world, I've recently been diagnosed with ADHD. Woo! That's super cool to be 60 years on the planet and not know that. Well, I figured it out. And my doctor's amazing. She's like, oh yeah, girl, thanks for that. So, so historically, my brain, prior to this rewiring that I'm doing, my brain is easily overwhelmed. So I have a pile of paper on my desks. Yep, that's a situation. Yep, that is a fact. Looking right at it. Oh my gosh. But what are my thoughts about that? Are my thoughts, wow, I have such an abundance of connections and people in my world that want my time and want my services, and I can add such value to the world? Or do I go, I am such a loser. Why the crap can't I file stuff properly? You have a choice about your thought, right? All right. So the thoughts and emotions combine to become a belief system. So what do I believe about myself? I believe that my world is abundant and I am in the process of growing into someone who can navigate even more abundance. Prior to rewiring my brain, I did not have that thought. I honestly, subconsciously was staying small because I was scared to get overwhelmed. I don't have that fear anymore, but that was a belief based on my thoughts and emotions. Isn't that amazing? You really are in charge of that. I love it. So based on your belief, which you made up based on your thoughts and emotions, out of that rises D, your decisions. And then A is your activities or actions based on your decision. And then R, your results based on all of that. So if you look at the model, situation, thought, emotion, belief, a decision, actions, and results, the place where you can turn it around is right up top. Before we need to grab hold of those thoughts and emotions, change the belief system, and that happens on an unconscious level. Your unconscious runs 90% of what you do. So if you're a little bit like me and you wake up and go, I know that I'm smart. I know that I am blessed. I know I have good work ethic. I know I really care about people, but yet you have this inner critic in your head, call it imposter syndrome, whatever. Guys, that's the break that we need to fix for you. If I had these skills when I was younger, story would be different. There would be no wisdom from the wilderness. And I'm thankful that there is, because now I get to, I get the opportunity of leveraging that to help other people. But even as I was struggling with, oh, can I really coach people and help people? Here was my thought. What if I have it in my wheelhouse to help somebody write a different story and I don't do it? And that person breaks down and they may or may not make it through to have a chapter 2. And I was in a position to help and I didn't. Well, then shame on me. And I could not wrap my head around being that woman to squander my blessings in my chapter 2. So there you go. If we get together, I'll teach you more about DIA and 7 layers of why. I will read to you a little bit of the final chapter of my book, so you do know the rest of the story. Closing thoughts. For me, The wilderness was not a place, it was inside me. How ironic that in nature, the wilderness is where wild things live. But in my wilderness, it was a place where tame things dwelled within me. Those were things that were subdued by fear and lulled into complacency and hopelessness. Now that I have emerged, I am a little wild. Okay, probably more than a little. As in dancing, singing, and laughing with irrepressible and bridal joy. I'm now walking, no, running in freedom. Surviving chapter 1 taught me to be brave. Since that season didn't kill me, I can rise up and do other hard things, and you can too. It gave me great clarity. While it's not a journey that I would have chosen, a lot of good has come from it. In the end, I'm choosing to be thankful for it. I am one of the blessed ones that made it through. The truth is, not everyone gets a chapter 2, and I feel the weight of that. I wake up every day thankful that I get another day. Sorry. I find it curious that, like the Old Testament children of Israel, my wanderings lasted about 40 years. I closed my heart at age 15, and now I'm 59. Moreover, when I chronicled the series of trauma and healing over the last 4 decades, I find precisely 10-year gaps when the enemy attacked and tried to silence my voice. Sometimes it was my music, sometimes my writing, speaking, my decision-making ability. Yes, there was even a season when the enemy leveraged my love of music against me. I figure if he's worked this hard to shut me up, maybe my words really do matter. Being really real, my biggest fear is this. What if God gave me a second chance to do something really great, something that matters, and I miss it? My dear friends, since we're reading these words, I hope I haven't missed it. Whatever your story looks like today, don't give up. Your victory is coming. Birthing something new is always messy. What if there's great beauty on the other side of your mess, just waiting to be born? What if your biggest test is actually the conduit for the biggest outpouring of divine favor? Don't be deceived. Thieves do not break into empty storehouses. There's a lot of valuable stuff in you and a high calling on your life. Once you made it through your wilderness, don't forget where you came from. But more important is where you're headed. You have been delivered on purpose for a purpose. Decide you're going to live and then live out loud. I'm cheering for you. Here you go. I will tell you that I want to live in a world where people feel safe, connected to community, and empowered to walk in their calling. I want to live in a world where breakdowns don't happen. The things I have on the table coming up. Sorry, woo-wee. When I have one-on-one coaching going on, I have a 6-week online course coming out. I'm looking for speaking engagements and podcasts. And of course, you can buy my book. That's cool too. So I have specials on all of that exclusively for SiriusNet folks that are attending today. So just let me know where to drop that flyer and all the goodness. I know I'm right at the end. Do we have a minute for questions or not really?
Well, let's do this. First and foremost, let's show our love to Jen for being so inspiring. You know, behind every business is a human being, right? And there's enough battles right there alone that we have to fight before we fight that business fight. So I thought this was a great presentation. I wanted to say really quickly before we'll have time for just a couple questions and then we've got to go to the networking session. But I wanted to say, Chris Leonard, thanks for showing your SiriusNet spirit with your screen backdrop. You're the door prize winner for this first session. So you'll be getting something in the mail from us. But also wanted to open the floor. Does anybody have a question or a comment for Jen? First person to unmute and talk wins.
Great job, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Anybody else?
I appreciate your vulnerability, Jen. I was curious. I know that you're a woman of faith, and is there a Bible verse that really helps you to get grounded?
Oh, yes, I have a couple actually, and they are I have them in my little devotion area. But one of them, I have 2 of them actually. One is God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power and love and a sound mind. So so when I'm in my prayer time and I'm feeling a little triggered, I don't have to pray for more of that spirit. I already have it. I just need to pray to be reminded of it. So that's from 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. And the other one, interestingly enough, is 1 Corinthians 13, which is the love chapter. It talks about what love is and what love isn't. So when there was a big part of my healing actually was really embracing that whole passage, because I believe God is love. So if it is not, if something in my life is not rooted in love and doesn't inspire more of that, it's not of God. Therefore, I don't have to tolerate it. And once I embraced that, that's the dividing line. Is it love? Is it not love? And I will be on this side of that boundary every time. So those are just a couple of things for asking.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, well, let's put our hands together again for Jen McClure one more time, everybody. Everybody that attends this will be receiving a follow-up email that's going to have Jen's contact information. It'll have, you know, the things that she was talking about in terms of how to engage with her as well, too. And if you're lucky today, you might even be matched up with Jen in one of the networking sessions that we're going to be running. Speaking of that, we've got to go ahead and get started on our networking session. So we're going to go ahead and end this session. We'll go ahead and leave this session, go back to the landing page, and then click on networking session number 1, and we'll see you right over there. Great job, Jen.